Hey everyone, my name is Jay. I'm a voice actor, mocap artist, and I was a voiceover agent for a little over 2.5 years. So earlier in the week, I tweeted that I would make a video regarding some of the confusion on how agents go about picking their talent for their roster, and it blew up. You guys wanted to see that shit right away, so here I am. I didn't think it would be anywhere near this big, but I'm glad you guys want to know. I'm actually pretty surprised that so many of you were interested in this topic. I was just going to make a casual video and throw it on TikTok for like 20 people to see. I also wouldn't really call myself a content creator. I'm not really good at like these teaching videos, and I think we have enough of those floating around. But you guys wanted to know about the agent side of stuff, and I do have some insight on that, so I'll get right into it. There is a ton of reasons why a talent agency won't sign you, at least yet. Timing is a big part of the industry, and the same goes for the talent agent side of things. One of the most common reasons is that they already have an actor on their roster who sounds like you. You may have been told that, I've certainly been told that, and I'm sure your favorite voice actors have been told that before they got their start. But honestly, it's just the truth. If you think from an agent's point of view, repping two actors that sound similar is kind of a waste of everyone's time, especially for the casting director. If you're submitting two auditions for one character that kind of sound the same from two different actors, they might even comment on that, so it's not a good look. So don't take that personally, we've all heard it, just move on, and there's plenty of agencies out there who don't have your voice. When I first signed on to be the voice agent at my agency, they basically said I had to start my roster from scratch, so my first thought was, yes, I'm gonna sign all my acting friends, and we're gonna have a tight-knit relationship in the industry, it's gonna be awesome. But after really considering that idea, I realized doing that would just lose me money, and if I started submitting actors with less than professional demos or aren't trained enough, it would be me that develops the bad reputation to casting directors. It's not that agents aren't willing to take a chance on you, it's just that we, as voice actors, have it a little bit harder than on-screen actors when it comes to representation. All of the film and television principal agents at my agency would sign mostly based on looks. Sometimes they wouldn't even have a demo, and they're like, you know what? Commercials will take you. You'll make us money. That's another thing. Actors are kind of, I don't think they'll ever say this, but actors are most definitely dollar signs to them. It's just how it is. In voiceover though, it's so much more technical than that. You have to have a professional demo. We have to be vocally trained. The competition seems so much crazier, and even if you have a self-produced demo, that could definitely hurt you, versus other people who are paying studios around the city. I graduated acting class from one of the top film schools in North America, and my first agency was a film and television principals agent. It was actually my acting diploma and my acting reel that got me the interview with them, just the interview. What got me signed was my actual looks. I went into the office to meet with them. All 5 agents at the office quite literally sat around me, calling out things that I'm castable as. I was a 21-year-old guy with a 15-year-old's face. This was a goldmine for on-screen actors looking to get into stuff like CW shows, you know, where most of the characters focus on younger people, like students and like stoners. Basically, the only 2 things I ever auditioned for when I was on screen. I auditioned for Ninja Turtle too, the Michael Bay one, but that was like a huge thing. They knew I hated playing stoners and students over and over and over again. It just didn't feel like acting to me. And going into commercials, I would like hold up a can of Red Bull to my face, stare at the camera, say the line, and they'd say, "Thank you, see ya." I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like so done with these auditions. Like I would lose parts based on my height. It was crazy. Then I got into voiceover and I left my agent. I got a new one, and immediately I was just booking gig after gig, and it was based fully on my skill, not, you know, what my hair looks like in that audition. It's the craziest thing. If you have like a single tooth out of place, they'll like be like, no, not good. It was a terrible industry. But voiceover, it's been nothing but great things. Anyway, I digress. So in voice acting, you need to not only have an insanely strong demo, most talent agents know if your demo was professionally produced or not. Not only that, they actually sometimes know which studio produced your demo in your city. That's how much they see demos coming in. That's how much they connect with the industry around them. You kind of start to hear their sounds and their scripts that they reuse. But at the end of the day, they want the top-notch produced demos in their roster. Because keep in mind, it's not just you auditioning, they're actually pitching you as well. If you're going out for like a Disney movie or something, they actually have to pitch you to casting for a project that big. I personally wouldn't worry too much about the voiceover like resumes and cover letters. They'll ask you to submit that, but that's not the deciding factor. It's really just about having that kick-ass demo. I would get my headshots done professionally just if you care that much more. With representation being so important now, it's always on the agent's mind to have the most diverse roster possible. A lot of the breakdowns I saw while submitting actors was POC only, and if an agent doesn't have a very diverse roster, they could honestly cut their monthly paycheck in half with that if they just have like all white actors. I know that used to be kind of the money, but we're kind of out of style right now. It's not only about skin color either, it's about can you speak that language? That is huge. So being Canadian, the first thing they asked me when I was getting signed to my voiceover only agent was, do I speak French? Which I do not. But I said I graduated VFS, which is a top film school. I'm actively vocal training with one of my favorite voice actors of all time. Shout out to Crystal Meadows. It's really important to have those special skills because when you go into the interview, they will ask what kind of vocal skills you have, and that isn't the same as on-screen skills. Like you can have acrobatics for film. You can get signed on being able to like swallow swords or like juggle chainsaws or some shit. But for voiceover, if you're bilingual, trilingual, you're a gold mine. Agents love you for that. I would definitely showcase that in your demo because that will actually pique questions for them. That's a reason for them to reach out to you and ask more questions. Another thing about applying is sometimes the agent is simply just making enough money. Having an extra actor is that much more work because that's another individual you're trying to satisfy full time. So sometimes they won't answer. Sometimes they'll probably send some sort of rejection email. You kind of want to be careful with reapplying to agents. So if you get rejected by all of the major ones in your city, I would honestly wait 6, even like 8 months before you reapply again, because they will remember you. And if you're sending a new application to them every 3 months or so, they're going to get annoyed by that. And agents talk to each other. Even just annoying them is enough to like get on their bad side. Definitely wait it out. I know it's hard. It sucks. But I'm assuming a lot of you have home studios by now. If you do, you can definitely apply to other states, other provinces. If you're American, you can definitely have like 17 voiceover agents. In Canada, it's a little different. I think they make you just do one voiceover agent, but you can have like other acting agents in other areas. Like for me personally, I have a voiceover agent and a performance capture, motion capture agent. Another thing I want to touch on is referrals. So referrals are always really great to meet agents. Like if you have a voiceover friend who's signed to an agency and they really believe you're ready to be represented, they'll refer you, but that doesn't always mean you'll get signed. But having a good first impression on an agent is absolutely huge. So definitely take the meeting. But don't be discouraged if you don't get signed on the day because they will remember you. Obviously, at the same time, you don't want to hound actors to refer you to their agencies because then it would be honestly throwing them under the bus if they have to pitch you and they don't really believe that you're ready. If they don't really know your acting skill, the agent's going to ask questions and they're going to feel like they were thrown under the bus and they weren't ready for it. It's just bad. So if you have never been signed before and you have minimal training and you still feel like you're ready, it's fine to apply, but you should know the level of agency you're applying to. Like the one I worked at was a very small boutique agency. They didn't just sign a ton of people just because they wanted as much money as possible. There are some kind of entry-level agencies that are more welcoming to new talent, but don't go applying to like Atlas. If you're new, like if your demo isn't just absolutely... I wouldn't apply to Atlas unless I had a top-notch produced demo. Like if I paid like $700 or up, because the demo studios as well will tell you if you're ready for their demo or not. They will probably tell you to get more training, which honestly, take that advice and do it. I see a lot of you posting your Zoom coachings, which is amazing. Keep doing that, because even having that as a credential will get you in the office with them. My very first demo I submitted to an agent, I made the mistake of just not really trying to showcase my range that much. I just stuck to doing characters that I was comfortable with doing. And when I sent it in, an agent said it sounded like I was trying too hard to be Jesse Eisenberg. I was like, God damn. But I just kept trying. With that same demo, I actually did land an agency. But since then, I've got a professional demo and I'm happy with it right now. I'm sure that'll change in a couple months, but yeah, that's kind of the industry, is just keep taking those shots in the chin like you do with your auditions. They'll send rejection letters like your auditions and you won't like it, but that's just what everyone goes through. And another thing I have to tell you, there's a lot of misconceptions about having a studio booth like a Whisper Room or a Studio Bricks. I firsthand booked a girl on a commercial for voiceover. She recorded it outside on her phone. Granted, this was before COVID, so there wasn't this expectation to have a home studio. It was very common for actors to just record stuff on their phone and send it, because we would always work in studio. That's just how it was. But it just have like a treated space, like a closet. It's fine. To be honest, I personally know 2 pretty well-known voice actors who still just record out of their closet. So don't worry about spending that kind of cash. I would worry about getting some good coaching. Maybe go to acting school. That is usually that's around 16 months or so. If you're in Vancouver or Canada, there's a lot of voiceover schools specifically. But yeah, that's just something you're going to have to look into. And that's kind of the fun of the journey, honestly. I'm sorry if this wasn't as insightful as you thought it would. I did not expect this to be so blown up. I still have people messaging me if the video's out yet, so I'm sorry. I couldn't imagine being a YouTuber. But if you have any specific questions, please reach out to me. I'm probably just better answering questions than just making a video, because I'll miss topics. But if you ask me, then it's just, I get to just answer it. So there you go. See you guys later.